see the two people are watching.
How about now? How about now, yo? I had it connected to my earbuds in the other room. Can you guys hear it now? Okay. Hello, guys. So, who actually watched the movie Dragon Heart from, oh goodness, like 1931? It's an older movie. Okay, so yeah, just yeah. If everybody can, okay, okay. So first of all, it's a really good movie. Phil, it might just be you and me tonight. And guess what? We're just gonna hang out for I don't know how long, and we'll just talk about this movie. This is a great movie. Like it is. It's one of those movies that we watched whenever we were younger, and it was just very nostalgic. But I kind of knew it was pretty dumb, but it was also great. But yeah, it was just a very nostalgic movie for me. I love the score. The second one, I was always confused because I thought the second movie that came out with it, Dragonheart New Beginning or something, I thought that was the first one because it seemed worse, cheaper, and just not half as good. Turned out, all of the Dragonheart sequels, which was the second one, which was worse, they're just terrible. The first one was made with a lot of heart and it was really, really good. Technologically, it was pretty advanced for its time. Anyways, I'm just gonna go through my notes, bro, and eventually I'm gonna get to the sum of this video, of what the movie really meant. Okay, so here we go. Dragonheart. The score was great. I'm gonna say it's good. It wasn't it served its purpose. It never hit me of like, man, I'm gonna go listen to this score later. I'm gonna Google this I'm gonna look this up on Spotify and listen to it. The score was never that. It was just really it was just good. Just served its purpose. Um, the beginning fighting scene. Hey, if you guys join, just let me know. I can't see who joins and stuff, but let me know who's there and we'll party. Um, The beginning fighting scene between the prince and the knight was super cheesy. And at one point, they're fighting, and the main knight literally just takes a cup of water and starts drinking it as he's fighting. And I'm like, okay, this what? Dennis Quaid, I think it's his name. Yes, Dennis Quaid. Um, just crushed it. He did amazing. I mean, yeah, he just did really, really well at it. I was surprised. Um, the beginning battle scene, there's a village being on like there's this village and they're under attack, and it shows all these horses running towards it, and it's supposed to be like super dramatic and kind of scary, but there's like 12 horses, and I'm like, you, okay, you're gonna take over an entire village with like 12 horses? Is that what you're gonna do, king person? Okay. The villagers at the beginning were so unorganized. It was just like they built up these huge barricades and set them on fire, and then the horses just jumped over them. They did nothing. Like, on a practical sense, like, they spent hours setting up all these barricades for basically nothing. Just thought that was kind of funny. Um, oh yeah, at one point, the king down into the village, he's attacking these one people, and then he gets overrun, and the prince is like a mile and a half away, and he like, it was just, it was not practical that the prince could see the king from like 3 miles away, like getting in trouble, and then he starts running towards it. Like, it was just so far away. It was not very practical. At one point, there's a king and a queen. The king dies, and then the queen is told that he dies, and she just doesn't really care, like, at all. Not a very loving relationship. Made me very sad. But the king was pretty much a tyrant, probably a bully, not very nice to his wife, so that kind of made sense. Um, yeah, the prince is just a baby in this movie. He is some punk. I do not like him at all. I don't even know what the main knight saw in him. I don't know. Okay, at one point, the queen's son, the prince, gets hurt during a battle, and the servants they take the prince to the queen and says he's dying, blah 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 blah. I think it's fatal. And then she's like, well, I know this one thing. Turns out the one thing is a dragon can give someone a part of the dragon's heart, and then it like heals them. And the queen just casually knew this information. Therefore, they took the prince to an old dragon's lair, and the dragon gave the prince a part of the heart, of the dragon's heart. And it's just like, why do you know that? Were you part of some ancient cult that just did dragon things? Because that's not typical information that queens and kings should know. That was just weird to me. Um, the animation in this movie did not make me want to throw up. Granted, some of it looks like total crap, but I'm just thinking about the time. It was like the late '90s or something, or no, like mid '90s. I need to know what year it came out. Don't even know. I didn't look up that, but like the animation was like just not that bad. Every time it was in the sunlight, though, it was a little bit. It was very, very, very obvious that like that's a very animated dragon. But every single time, 1995. Okay, that makes sense. I know it came out after Jurassic Park, but yeah, the animation every time it was in the dark, it looked really good and kind of creepy, and I was very, very surprised. Or anytime it was wet with like rainwater or at one point river water, it was like, wow, that actually looks pretty good. But every time it's in the sunlight, it's very, very cheesy. Okay, okay. There's this one point. This was a movie I watched whenever I was younger, and so whenever you watch things as you're younger, the littlest tiny things always stick with you. And you know those little green floss things, or sometimes they're white or black. Just they're these little floss things. And whenever you like stick them up in there, and whenever you have something stuck inside your teeth, not inside your teeth, in between your teeth, like a piece of meat, and you finally just like you gouge it out, and then you look at it, and it's just so satisfying because literally there's pressure in between your teeth, and it just released. That type of thing. At one point, the Knight, which I think his name is Owen, can't really remember, but I just called him the Knight. Dennis Quaid. Let's just call him Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid is stuck in the dragon's mouth, sitting on its tongue, with a sword jammed up on the roof of its mouth, and they're hanging out there for like hours, which I always just thought was really funny whenever I was younger, and I laughed at it. At one point, the Knight just reaches over and grabs like a forearm to like the hand, a skeleton that's just stuck in between the dragon's teeth, and he like rips it out. He's like, ugh, and then he just throws it away. That was so satisfying. I do not know why, but it kind of reminds me of whenever I would get stuff out of my teeth. It's just a gross but satisfying thing. I don't know. Um, One of the things about this movie that just really struck me, Bowen, Owen, Bowen would probably, Bowen seems a little bit more aesthetically accurate to the time because Owen sounds like a very modern name. Um, this movie just had a lot of moments that all of a sudden it got real really, really quickly. And a lot of this movie was about the heart and hope. I mean, the heart meaning the dragon literally gave part of his heart to Einan, which, by the way, that name just makes me mad, mainly because it's tied to that prince. That prince, young version and old version, you just wanna. He makes you so angry. He did such a good job. High two actors who had to do that. Um, yeah, he did a very, very, very good job of portraying that brat. You just want to smack him. You don't want to do that, but he was very mean. Um, but yeah, they had a lot of moments that just the dragon and the knight. It's just very, very. Yeah, yeah. He's. Yeah, You mean the young Prince Philip? Cause I do like him in Harry Potter. He's one of the wizard dudes. I really did like him in that. But oh, what was it? Yeah, there were just a lot of moments with the dragon that just was a lot more emotional than I was ready for slash expecting from a 90s medieval film. Um, Sean Connery, he voiced the dragon, and I guarantee if Sean Connery did not voice that dragon, that movie would not. There wouldn't have been like three, four sequels that came after it. Like, yeah, there was just no way that that was gonna happen. Um, but Sean Connery killed it. His voice is amazing. But okay, do you guys remember the priest from the film? So funny. He was such a dork, and yeah, he was always very, very a lot funnier than I was expecting. Get the prince. No, but yes, it is him in Harry Potter. Potter. Um, dude, he was so funny. Anything he's in, I really, really, really like. Um, One thing that was just made me laugh in this movie was okay. At one point, okay, there's like a redheaded girl, and by the way, she has a really strong character. She's like one of the people who she was naive enough to hold on to hope, and turns out she was right. You always hold on hope. Hope is always the logical conclusion. Thank you, Ben, for giving me that cool phrase. Um, but she like is one of the most. She's like one of the more grounded characters in this film, and she actually turns the heart of Bowen around, which whenever I was 8, I didn't really follow that linear storyline. Let's get back. Let's not wrap this thing up quite yet because I still have more information to go through. But oh yeah, the whole let's just fast forward kind of towards the end. Um, One of the bigger moments that made my heart kind of get ripped out was at one point. And I know there's now three people on. If you've seen this movie, let me know. It's back to two. It's funny. Um, I feel like someone's just coming in and off. Eh. I mean, I guess you can be in and out. It's totally fine. We're just hanging out. Um, One of the bigger, more emotional moments that I was just again not really expecting from this film was the dragon and the prince. They share a heart because the dragon gave the prince his heart, a half of his heart. So the dragon and the prince are linked, and if one of them gets hurt, the other one gets hurt. And so at one point, the characters figure that out, and the queen of the prince hires these dragon slayers because the dragon and all the peasants that the prince was kind of being a butt to, um, they're attacking and blah 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 blah. The queen hires dragon slayers, and she is like and she goes and she like tries to kill the dragon, which would kill her son, and she knows that. She knows it. And at one point, the son has to. The mother basically tells the son, "You're a monster. Your heart is un maybe not unlovable, but like you are making the wrong decision, and the world would be a much better and safer place if you were dead." That is very very hard to hear. That's really really intense. Which again, I was not expecting from this movie. Again, when I was 8, I wasn't expecting to hear that. Um, but yeah, that was really tragic. And then eventually, I think the prince like kills his mom. I was like, okay. Again, I was 8 when I watched this movie. Mom, why did you let me watch this movie? Um, but yeah, it was really good. The prince again, he's a butt. Um, there was one moment again around about the dragon and Einan sharing a heart, and one of them died. Blah 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 blah. The dragon basically tells Bowen the knight, "Hey, please kill me now." And Bowen's like, no. And he's like, yeah, please do it. End it. Kill Einan. I know I'm the last one. Kill me. And Bowen's like, no. And it just really, really hit me. It was like, one of the reasons it hit me so hard was near the beginning of the movie, it's established that Bowen was a very, very hopeful guy. He stuck to the old knight code. He was this dude. And then all of a sudden, because the prince was given the heart of the dragon and he turned basically super, super bad, Bowen just lost it. He lost hope. He forgot the old code. He started doing all this bad stuff. He became a dragon slayer. He literally hunted down freaking dragons. And, but it turns out the last dragon became friends with the last dragon slayer. And the dragon's literally saying, kill me. And the dragon slayer's like, no, you're my friend. Anyways, with the good music score behind it, not great, but the good music score behind it, it really was actually very emotionally impactful. I was, again, just like, I'm feeling this. I am feeling this. Let's move on to what this movie was about. Okay? I'm gonna wrap it up. Wrap it up. What did the movie mean? I wrote this out. So here we go. A movie of tragedy and friendship, of humor and sadness. Two unlikely characters becoming friends. The last dragon and the last dragon slayer. A prince woven into a hope and tradition that he threw away for power and self-gain. the chosen one per se, throwing away his potential. The monster he, the monster he grew into, even his mother could not love. It was an age of dragons, of deep mystical magic, and but yet it was the end of that wonderful era, the end of the dragon age. The knight believed in the prince and all the youthful potential that the prince carried with him, and he believed the word of the dragon, that they would stick to the old code. But his hope was diminished by the Prince Evil's heart. And he learned, and yet he learned that he was manipulated by the prince, and the Bowman lost hope. I'm like paraphrasing things that I just typed out real quick. Bowman became a dragon slayer, and yet in the end, the very thing he hated and literally sought to slay, they became best friends. I think the film is about friendship. It's a study of the human heart. How, I'm kind of paraphrasing now. A lot of it is based on like someone who's really, really, really hopeful about this thing. He sticks to an old way of doing things that's like true and for sure, based in truth, but it kind of lets him down, and then he just throws it away. And now he's just like, he's lost himself. But then through the younger generation and finding friendship, he understands that the truth he used to hold dear is still truth. Because truth is truth, people. Truth is truth. And he found that, and he lost it, but Bowman got it back. Whew. Woo. Sharing your heart can be disappointing. The dragon shared his heart with the prince. The prince was a jerk and let everybody down. Sometimes that's people's character arcs. It's not that they don't have the choice to do the right thing. They always have the choice to do the right thing. But sometimes people make the wrong decisions. And that this story tells it. This guy was not very nice, not very nice. And basically losing hope in your heart and then refinding it. This movie captured all of this. And it was honestly just, it was a lot better than I was expecting. And if you just want a fun, lighthearted, but at the same time, there was a lot of humor in this film, by the way. A lot of humor. Priest Gilbert, super, super funny. The Dragon, super, super funny. Sean Connery's voice, silky smooth. You just want to feel good? Go listen to that. Some of the, now, special feature time. There's this younger dude, he came up with the story, and he was pitching it to some of the executives and stuff at Universal, and he showed it, one of them, to this writer, and he was like, to this screenplay writer or whatever they're called, and he was like, I really like this story, dude. Let's make a screenplay out of it. And they made a screenplay, and they got some funding to do some test shots for the film. And there's a scene in the film where the dragon and Bowen, the knight, have a discussion, a good heart-to-heart, like onto this cliff with a fire. Sorry, burping a whole bunch. Gross. And they're just, yeah, they created that scene, and they created an animatronic dragon. And they were thinking about the whole movie's going to be this animatronic dragon. And the budget was just, after they did it, it looked pretty good, but the budget was just not realistic to create all these different types of models and everything with this test shot. And they were just like, sorry, we can't do this. And then Jurassic Park came out, and the graphics just blew everybody's brain out of the water, and everybody was like, okay, this is how we're going to make this film. And then they pursued that, and honestly, some of the visuals look really, really good for its time. Again, one thing I learned about graphics and stuff, watching some visual artists react to films and stuff. It's by the Corridor Crew. They have an amazing YouTube channel. Go check them out. It's visual effects artists reacts. Go check those out. They are so funny and very entertaining. And honestly, they pack a lot of fun knowledge in there as well. one thing I learned from them is whenever you have multiple light sources or a ginormous light source, it's incredibly difficult to make visual effects look realistic. But whenever you have one source of light, it's a low light, you can make things look very convincing with literally like 1/5 of the digital graphics and all the processing and stuff. So a lot of times that's the reason why whenever it's low lit, the dragon looks very compelling and realistic. But then whenever he's outside, it just like, yep, this is from the 90s. Anyways, that was my mom. Hi, mom. Um, s-
Fixing Dad's supper. Do you? Oh, are you gonna know something?
yeah, no, that was so sweet. So yeah, that's Dragonheart. Um, again, go watch that movie. It's a very very good movie. It's about a lot of people just don't really like believe in a code anymore. And this movie is just about that. It's about someone losing hope in that code and then refinding it again. I think a lot of people need that story. Um, it's just fun, and it's just honestly, it's a good story. And I think it's not trying to push anything on anybody. It's just a good story about the human heart, and I think everybody needs those types of stories in their life, especially right now. Um, so yeah, everybody, this was really really fun. Eventually, what I'd really, really like to do is maybe even someday watch it with you guys, and we could just. Sorry, I was reading fill your comment. Um, I'd like to get to the point tech wise where I could like watch the movie maybe with you guys, and we can talk about it as we're going through. Or at one point, I'd like to be able to zip through the movie and just show you guys the scenes that I'm talking about. We can watch the scenes and stuff. I don't know if that's like illegal or anything with copyright issues. But we'll be looking into that. And the next movie we're gonna do is The Darkest Hour. It is a film about Winston Churchill. It's boss. It's really, really good. I think it came out in 2017, I believe. And Gordon Freeman, which is not the actor's name, but the guy who plays Gordon Freeman in Christopher Nolan's Batman series, the guy with the mustache. Um, what else has he done? Dang it. Anyways, he's the guy who does Winston Churchill, which doesn't make much sense, but he's in this fat suit and all these different things, and it is so incredibly realistic and believable and compelling, and it's a story about a messed up dude who looked past Gary Oldman. Yes, that's his name. It's about a messed up dude in a very important time doing some incredible things that people didn't have the guts to do or the brains to do, or it's just really really good. And it's again, it's very compelling. And yeah, it's really good. That's going to be our next film. It's called The Darkest Hour. We'll make some posts and various things on that. Next time I'll try to get some more tech stuff figured out and have a little bit more structure. But thank you guys, thank you Philip and the other person that I have no idea who's watching. Thank you so much for just hanging out and listening and interacting. And again, I love films so much, and I'd just like to share my love of film and various things with you guys. And so, yeah, let's make this a thing, people. Let's make this a thing. See you, Philip. See you, other person. Bye. Love you guys.